Alright, let's talk about one of the more AFL confusing rules that makes draft night potentially a minefield. You've heard about bids, you've heard about academies, we've learnt about father and sons on this channel. We know about points and discount, but what does it mean in the practical sense of the word? What does that actually mean? Why do some clubs free up their stars and get them for effectively free? Why does it feel like sometimes you lose half your draft to get one kid? This is your crash course in AFL bidding and how it looks in 2025. Hey legends, Pommy here. Before we get bidding and into all that madness, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. If you want to join the PommyInOZ army, 10k plus, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, turn the notification bell on. We break down all trades, drafts, off-season and in-season. We're your full one-stop shop, your pirate media for AFL. So you'll never get lost when you hear pick slides, discounts, point debts, transition football. So let's get stuck in. On draft night, when a club's turn comes up, they have two options. Pick a player for themselves, or two, be like your uncle during a game of Christmas Monopoly and be a complete pain in the arse and buy all the brown ones, Old Kent Road and that, and take a player that's tied to someone else. They are Northern Academy, Next Generation, and the classic father-son. Now, if that happens as the club that has nominated these players, you have the option to match or pass. That means that the player, if you pass, becomes the club that's bidded, or you use your picks and use your draft points to try and match it. So what does that mean? Every draft pick has a points allocation value. Pick 1, 3,000, 2, 2,100, and those numbers drop the further down you go. When a club matches, I want you to imagine that the points value has a little members card where you get 10% off. You then use multiple picks to starting with the highest value first, going down, no pick and mixing, to try and match the bid. Once you do that, you have two options. You either match it and you'll get change and your picks are deleted and you'll be reallocated them with new values, or you can go into deficit. AFL allows you to be in debt almost if you can't match and take them off the next year's picks. This is as if you win the flag, so values pick 18, 36, 54 and zip. You can only go into debt that much. So effectively, if you go over, you get change back. If you go under, you can go into points debt for next year. And that's about it. So let's take you through some examples we'll see this year. It's the best way to learn. Zeke Uwland. So let's say West Coast take whoever, pick 1. Pick 2 comes up, Zeke Uwland. Now that bid in its full existence, 2,481. That becomes discounted with their members card, 10%, 2,233. So to match, Gold Coast go through their picks. Pick 15, 973. Pick 18, 836. Pick 24, 621. Total value, 2,430. Like when you're at Coles, you get change, an overpay of 197. Because 197 is closer to pick 42, 202 points, Suns get 42 as change, and because they use 3 picks to match and only got 2 back, Zeke and 42, they get what's called a filler pick. Pick 115, the very end of the draft. Result, Zeke Uwland is a shiny new sun. They get 42 and 115. They lose the picks they use to match. Everyone moves in and around them bids. Pick example 2, Danny Annable. Danny Hannibal hit Richmond, decide to be pains in the arse. Pick 4, 1,766 points. After the discount, that is, of course. Now, Brisbane use 879, pick 22, 686, pick 43, 184, and pick 50, 71. Now, you'll see Gold Coast being shifted up affected them. They could have actually done this originally if there isn't a bid on pick 2 and only been a 1 point overpay, which would have mean they would have got the pick just below the first 0 pick, so that's 55. So in this example, they have used a 54-point overpay, 1,820. That means Brisbane receive pick 51 back. That's worth 57 points as their change. And since they use multiple picks to match, again, they receive 114 and 115, pushing Gold Coast 115 originally to 113. Result, Annable stays a Lion. They gain 51, 114 and 115. The draft continues as normal. Example 3, Richmond again being pains in the arse. Pick 6, Dylan Patterson. That's 1,493 with the discount applied. They use pick 25, pick 26 and pick 33. So Gold Coast give up 1533 worth of points, a 40-point overpay. So now they get back 52 as their change. And again, because they've used more picks than they've received, they now go 115 at the end of the draft, moving Brisbane to 1114 and 1113. Result, Patterson becomes a Son. They get 52 and 115. Now, let's use Carlton as an example in this same model. So we've kept the bids the same. Essendon goes at pick 8. That's a pick that's worth 1,443, discounted to 1220. Carlton used 12 and 14. That's 2,164. 945 points overpay. That is pick 16 on the draft value calculator, closest to. So as a result, Carlton get Harry Dean. They don't get any extra picks. They just slide to pick 16, and that is their change. Now, simple stuff, but worst case scenario. Let's say West Coast bid on Harry Dean pick 2. Nothing else has changed. It's just the start of the draft. So 2,481 becomes 223. Carlton use 9, 1,355. 11, 1,205. That's 2,560 points. A staggering 327-point overpay. That equals roughly pick 36. So Carlton get 36 back. So this means Harry Dean becomes a Blue and Carlton lose all their first rounders and are starting at the end of the second. A massive points hit early in the draft. So what's the takeaway here? Bids change orders. It affects when you've got them clustered. You'll sometimes benefit if you're in the 30s. You'll sometimes use. It just means that recruiters start sweating over their points. Spreadsheets, bidding isn't just about talent. It's about preparation. It's about being strategically prepared. Clubs with strong lists of mid-range picks defend their academy and their father-son players without torching the draft at all. This is why it's been changed and you only use 2. This is going to get even more complex next year. So next time when you're watching the draft with me on the watch-along, Gold Coast match, Carlton slide back, you know what's going on. It's not luck, it's not points, it's points, discount and planning. If you've learned something today, please give me a video a like, drop a comment, tell me which club you think will get stung this year, and don't forget to subscribe for more great AFL content. I'm PommyInOZ, you've been terrific, and that is the AFL Draft Bidding Breakdown.